Well, semifinal Saturday marathon still carrying on here in the 2017 East Coast Conference Basketball Championships as it's semifinal number 2 on the men's side between the number 3 seed University of Bridgeport and the number 2 seed Molloy College. And once again, welcome inside the Harvey Hubble Gymnasium. JJ Duke here. Mike Moore is off to my right. And Mike, this is one of those intriguing matchups that we have where both of these teams have never faced each other full strength. And there are two stars that you have to watch out for. First, for Bridgeport, it's their big center, but he can also step back a little bit, Kyle Benjamin.
Kyle Benjamin has been a double-double machine for the Purple Knights all season long. 14.7 points per game, 10.3 rebounds per game, a first-team all-conference member, but also getting it done on both sides of the basketball. The co-defensive player of the year, along with Curtis Jenkins, who's on the other side for the Molloy College Lions.
Well, Kyle Benjamin missed the game out on Long Island. The player that missed the game here in Bridgeport just a few weeks ago is Charlie Marquardt, but Marquardt is one of those players that you can't leave alone from beyond the three-point line.
Well, how proud must Charlie Marquardt Sr. be in his 23rd season being able to coach his son, the senior from Rockaway Beach, averaging 19.4 points per game, a dynamic shooter, tremendous player off of the dribble as well. And the one thing you do not want to do is send him to the free throw line 90% on the season from the charity stripe.
It's scary to be effective from beyond the arc as well as from the 15-foot line. Fun fact, Molloy has never beat Bridgeport in their history at the Harvey Hubble Gymnasium. Overall, just 1 in 23. Can they make it number 2 today, and will they advance to the ECC championship, or will be the third time in 4 years Bridgeport against St. Thomas Aquinas? Starting lineups coming up right after this on the ECC YouTube channel.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor.
It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
What?
Respect. It's the name of the game.
And welcome back inside the Harvey Hubble Gymnasium for game number 4, semifinal number 2 in the men's bracket of this 2017 ECC Championship Saturday. JJ Duke, Mike Moore here with you. Mike, this is a game that these teams have been waiting for a long time, both figuratively and literally, especially for Bridgeport being the host site, albeit the 3 seed. They've been sitting around watching 3 games. Now they get the chance to go onto the court. It's always a tough feeling when you have to wait this long, even though it's only just 7:30, but still, you have a feeling that we might see some blazes firing on both sides.
Well, the crowd continues to file in here. A very good showing on the part of the fans from Molloy College who make the trek across the Long Island Sound. 2 teams playing their best basketball of the season right now. Bridgeport 18-11, 12-6 in conference play. 10-3 here on their home floor. They've won 11 of their last 14 games. Molloy at 17-10. They've won 4 in a row and 14 of their last 18. Both teams like to score early and often. Bridgeport averaging 83.8 points per game. Molloy at 82.6. So expect this to be a very high-scoring affair.
Let's set the table for you with their starting lineups. You get a good look at Kyle Benjamin right there, first team all-conference and co-defensive player of the year. He is in the front court along to as well Stefano Asuji backcourt for the Purple Knights of Sam Joseph 1, Devon Trumbo 12, and Carlos DeJesus 22. Molloy, even though they're on the road, technically they are the home team due to their number 2 seeding in the tournament. Their backcourt of Curtis Jenkins 10, Nick Corbett 13, Jalen Morris 30, and Charlie Marquardt 32. Mike Gazzardi is the lone big man, wears 55. We're underway here. The winner to take on St. Thomas Aquinas tomorrow afternoon at 2:30, and it should be a good one. Underneath with Kyle Benjamin hooking around Gazzardi. His effort short off the mark and cleared by Nick Corbett. Again, as we said in the open, both of these teams have never played against each other this year at full strength. Missing at this game was Charlie Markwood. Markwood, of course, though, one of the guys you have to watch out, co-share for top scoring honors. And the first layup, points are good by Jalen Morris.
Great hesitation move by Morris, shooting 56% from the field, leading scorer at 21.7 points per game. Good start for him.
Stefano Asuji too strong, but Benjamin puts it right back. Morris led the title with his teammate Charlie Marquardt for points per game with 20.4. So you put those two together and you're guaranteed 41 per contest. You never know, but for Bridgeport, they'll have to pin their ears back and watch both. Also, Nick Corbett is a key factor as well. High-low game. Good catch by Gazzardi. Lost the handle of it, backing his way in, but Brad Chernovitz on the far side says he took footsteps and we're going the other way. The other two referees, Mike McCloskey and Kyle Walter.
Molloy, a team that does a very good job protecting the basketball, just under 12 turnovers per game, forcing 15. So that time, a shuffle on the part of Gazzardi. A good job getting position, but then unable to finish.
Trumbo to the near side, and Carlos DeJesus front iron the three-point attempt, but Benjamin able to run that one down. Benjamin with the hesitation, saw the step up from Curtis Jenkins, missed the jumper. But Bridgeport once again crashing the glass. They average close to 37 rebounds per game.
A couple of offensive rebounds there. Chance for second chance points for the Purple Knights. Benjamin getting involved.
Sam Joseph's three is too strong, taken by Marquardt, and he's looking to push. He has a flanker to the far side, this being Curtis Jenkins. The southpaw's effort too strong, cleared by Benjamin. So Kyle Benjamin already a couple of touches on the glass. Asuji tiptoeing the baseline. Good front there by Gazzardi, forced the tight angle awkward shot.
Both teams trying to shake out the cobwebs early on, 2.5 minutes or so in, and we're tied at 2, but you see good looks on both sides, just unable to finish early on.
Gazzardi looking for an outlet with 13 on the clock, and nearly was a backcourt violation. Somehow Jenkins able to find the return pass. Now Marquardt has to work with 6 on the clock, and with his heels on the line, he knocks that one down.
Charlie Marquardt shooting 40% from behind the arc this season. Molloy 33% as a team, his first triple of the night.
Count the basket, though, for Carlos DeJesus, and he'll go to the line to finish off the three-point play. DeJesus in the game against Queens got out of his scoring funk a little bit, where he knocked down 13 points along with 4 rebounds and 4 assists.
You see the take there, drawing the contact, staying with it, high off the window, and now he goes to the line looking to complete the three-point play. Terrific move there by Carlos DeJesus. Another player nearly averaging double figures at 9.8 overall.
Well, Bridgeport has got themselves great balance, and that's always been a trademark of Mike Rowan's team. You're going to have one guy traditionally be the scorer and then a bunch of players averaging just a little over double digits. This year, though, Mike, for Bridgeport, they don't have that one scoring star, but they'll have 5, maybe 6 guys on a night give you 10 or more points, and that's been their key to success.
Very much the MO for St. Thomas Aquinas as well. They were victorious earlier in the first semifinal game against Damon College. They do have the player of the year in Justin Reyes, but you can't just focus on him defensively. Same goes for Bridgeport. So many different options from Mike Rowan, and they have produced all season long.
Curtis Jenkins knocks down the first free throw, and he'll have a second to come. A 67% free throw shooter, goes 1 of 2. Bridgeport in their game against Queens, the quarters very slow out of the gate, and uncharacteristic, just 35 points in the first 20 minutes, but then they put down a half century in the second half to win 85-74. Nice backdoor feed to Asuji, and his layup is good. Stefano Asuji, one of the couple of seniors that this Bridgeport team has, but the 3 seniors between he, Benjamin, and Montana Mayfield, all key contributors.
And I like the ball movement there on the part of Bridgeport, just being patient in their half-court set. Asuji beats his defender, cuts to the basket, and finishes the easy layup.
Gazzardi, the former Dowling College Lion, kicks it out with Jenkins. Jenkins, a very elusive guard. His jump shot is good. Just a 6'3" sophomore from Farmingdale, but already closing in on 12 points per game.
And a good rainbow shot in the paint. The floater is able to be converted.
Oh, the up and under take no good by Joseph, and the over the back call goes against Benjamin. Mike Rowan, none too pleased onto the near side. Benjamin, one of those players that is occasionally prone to get into foul trouble. as he had some issues against Queens. However, he was able to get himself back into the game and hit for 10.
You see the nice move there by Jenkins, crossover dribble, and he beat the defender, left elbow jump shot. He was able to convert for his first field goal.
Morrison to the front court, along with Benjamin, the co-defensive player of the year in the East Coast Conference. The handoff with Marquardt. Now Gazzardi down to the blocks, fronted by Benjamin. He got Kyle Benjamin to leave his feet. Still muscles his way in for 2.
Strong move there by Mike Gazzardi, 6'8" senior from Mount Sinai.
And DeJesus responds right back, knocking down that 3. Bridgeport back to level pegging.
DeJesus shooting 41% from downtown this season. Bridgeport shooting 33% overall.
Morris draws the foul on the floor, and that'll bring us to our first stoppage. Let's see who they get it on. It will be against Stefano Asugi, and that is his second. So Mike Gruwan has a little tinkering to do here as we head to the first stoppage. Molloy 10, Bridgeport 10 in the 2-3 matchup here in the 2017 East Coast Conference Men's Basketball Championships. Back in just a moment.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor.
It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
JJ Duke, Mike Moore here with you from the Park City in Connecticut, as the winner of this game will be taking on St. Thomas Aquinas tomorrow. There's a good look at the 2017 ECC Coach of the Year. Charles Marquardt has been at the helm of Molloy since the mid-90s. And boy, when you talk about Charles Marquardt, it's always about getting to the postseason.
It really is. He is in his 23rd season overall, and one season after missing the ECC Championship tournament for the first time since 2005-2006. Charlie Marquardt has done a terrific job. 17 wins, as we said, 14 of their last 18, the number 2 seed, taking on the University of Bridgeport Purple Knights, who have a little bit of a hockey feel here, wearing the road jerseys at home because they're the number 3 seed.
Well, you really just took my thunder right there.
I'm
yes,
sorry.
It's the AHL after Boxing Day. Home teams wear dark. Well, unfortunately, Bridgeport is not the home team today, but they're 1-0 when wearing the black jerseys at home. They defeated Roberts Wesleyan just a fortnight ago.
But to keep the fans as little confused as possible, they are the home team on the scoreboard. I did notice that.
You are right. I did notice that. Wow. Not sure how the conference is going to feel about that one, but maybe perhaps just programmed in the scorebug. We play on. Marquardt didn't have much space to go with, but Molloy will reset, and Jenkins will trot on over here to the near side. Jenkins, I like the poise of him. He knows when to pick the pace up and slow it down at the same time. Very active defensively. Now he'll start to go with 7 on the clock, but he lost the handle of it. DeJesus right there, kept it alive with 3 seconds. Now Molloy just has to get a shot off. Blown play, though Morris made something of it. And now Sam Joseph into the front court. Sharif Cobb is the replacement for Asugi, who picked up his second personal right before the stoppage. Benjamin, very cold in that game against Queens. Got a little bit warmer throughout the second half. Only had 10 points, though was good enough to pick up his 24th double-digit game this season. Right on the other end, Jalen Morris.
Good pass to Morris in the paint, and that's always one of the more difficult jump shots, that 10 to 12 footer, but he was pure right there for his second field goal, shooting 56% from the field this season.
DeJesus back to Benjamin. Now Benjamin likes that mid-range jumper, and he knocks it down. Again, at that 6'9" frame, he's very tough to guard when he's able to step back and exploit that verticality, and he was able to find bottom with it.
And a lot of range despite being 6'9". That's why he's a first-team all-conference member.
Sam Joseph gets called for the foul. Mike McCloskey right on the spot with that one.
JJ, you can attest to this, how athletes are creatures of habit, coaches as well. Throughout the entire tournament, as we see Kyle Benjamin showing his range there over Gazzardi, to our left has been the home team benches. But when you look to our left this evening, the team that has been home in this gymnasium all season long is the visitors at the University of Bridgeport.
Now you bring up an interesting point about that. I'm going to wait for the next stoppage to bring it up as Corbett swings it to Gazzardi with 21. Still looking for any sort of avenue, but Benjamin, with playing a personal foul on his book, staying tough, except Gazzardi showing his range, steps back and knocks down the jumper.
How about both of the big men? Gazzardi at 6'8", showing his range. Anything you can do, I can do better. Kyle Benjamin at 6'9", drained a long J, and the answer comes there by Gazzardi as well.
Cobb with the offhand is good.
Strong move there by Sharif Cobb. Beat the defender on the crossover, then had to go well high off the window, able to convert with the left hand.
Going to Gazzardi, though, last year with Dowling, he played in 23 games, had a grand total of 60 points. He has gotten into his own this season with Molloy as Joseph. Well, if you don't succeed, try again. That's exactly what Sam Joseph did. That's a little bit of a embarrassing moment, to say the least.
Did you get an assist for that?
He might get a rebound, though.
That's true. It was a missed shot. You're right.
Curious to see what the official scores give here. Is a travel. No, they're going to get a foul against Jalen Morris. And Morris picks up the personal. That's the team's second. We saw a lot of calls, and a lot of calls being, well, not favorable for either team in our first semifinals. You get a good look down low at Morris.
Charlie Marquardt not happy with that call, and I have to agree with him there. I did not see a lot of contact once the whistle was blown.
Sharif Cobb hard to the lane again. He'll go to the line. Going back to kind of how these games have been refereed throughout the duration of today, and I think the folks in the truck gave us kind of the whammy by saying game one took an hour and 24 minutes between Queens and NYT. That last game, that seemed to drag on for quite a while, but Bridgeport looking to just not think about that too much as Cobb's first free throw gets the shooter's roll. Now going back to that point about Bridgeport, albeit they're the number 3 seed, having the home side and the home team on the scoreboard. I work in the Ivy League. The Ivy League tournament's going to be happening for the first time this year down the Palestro. That's the home of Penn. Penn, very good chance of making it both for the men and the women. And a lot of questions have been brought up about how they're going to assign locker rooms and have benches, who's going to stay in what hotel. And well, Robin Harris, the executive director of the Ivy League, said, well, we're just going to have it seeds 1 through 4, get the preference of 1 through 4. Penn, still funny enough, still may very well draw their own home locker room for their semifinal game if they get there next week. Stoppage on the floor. We'll send it to break. Back in a moment with Bridgeport leading by 3.
From Connecticut and the metropolitan New York area to Western New York. From Washington, D.C. to Long Island. The East Coast Conference is committed to excellence in academics, athletics, and service to the community throughout the Northeast region. The East Coast Conference, a proud member of NCAA Division II.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass.
Well, Bridgeport leading Molloy 17-14 in this battle of 2 versus 3. As both teams breaking the huddle here. Molloy at the moment still shooting a very solid percentage of 67. Bridgeport at 44, and bringing in the third member of our broadcast team, Steve Belzon. Steve, go ahead.
And thank you very much, JJ. Coach Charlie Marquardt talking with his Molloy Lions on the bench, telling his team, 5 players boxing out, get the spots on the floor. He wants to see a little quicker coverage on the defensive end, fighting through those Bridgeport screens.
Well, they fought through that screen on the offensive side, and able to make some of it is Nick Corbett, able to find pay dirt, and will be going the other way off of a Bridgeport turnover. That's the first turnover of the day for the Purple Knights. 3 thus far from Molloy.
That's a great adjustment on the part of Nick Corbett on the last field goal. He was up in the air, and he thought maybe about passing it off, and then realized that he had to take the shot, and he was still able to knock it down from the baseline.
Nolan Kelly into the ball game on the far side. Now with Morris spinning his way through the lane, met by the double team. Still able to find the outlet. Kelly with 4 on the clock. Gives to Gazzardi. After it is off the mark and cleared by Devon Trumbull. That was a much better ball rotation sequence for the Lions. DeJesus not able to handle that pass, and Molloy back with possession.
A couple of sloppy possessions there on the part of Bridgeport. Micro One stressing the importance of protecting the basketball. We mentioned earlier that both of the teams do very well in limiting their turnovers, but last 2 go by the wayside there on the part of Bridgeport, a couple of miscues.
The Purple Knights still lead by 1. Now 9 minutes gone here into the first half. Morris still against the double team. Great advert by Benjamin to just force that to go a little bit too strong. Campbell to DeJesus. Tight angle, but he's still able to finish. DeJesus now with 8 points to lead all scorers here. Again, he's had a very on-off last couple of weeks of the season, but he's still making it count here.
And he's 3 for 4 from the field early on, showing a lot of confidence, especially with that short baseline jump shot.
Gazzardi calling it down inside the blocks against Benjamin. Again, Kyle Benjamin still playing with the 1 personal. Gazzardi, a great take down low.
Boy, that's mano-a-mano right there. He asked for the basketball on the low blocks. Benjamin decided not to front him, and then Gazzardi just showing his strength there, able to finish.
And a foul on the floor. This will go against Gazzardi and be his first. Team's 4th as we hit the halfway point. Here comes in Bakari Kamara, wears the number 15 for Bridgeport, and he was the real big factor in their victory against Queens in the midweek. Season high, 13 points, 7 rebounds against Queens. This is a player who doesn't average more than 2.5 per game, but when Bridgeport was cold shooting, just a rotational player, able to raise Bridgeport's level up and see them to the finish line. Montana Mayfield gets called for stepping out of bounds on the far side, and we'll be going the other way.
Just another sloppy possession there on the part of the Purple Knights. Looks like they're still trying at the midway point to get the Butterflies out of the system here. And, you know, they're feeding off of this big crowd, but just a costly turnover there.
And Morris's short jumper is good. But quickly, Bridgeport looking to go the other way in transition. DeJesus a little too strong. Kamara flying in, knocks it out of bounds. Points of the paint, Molloy, 12 of their 20 have come inside the area. To Bridgeport's 10 of their 19.
And the thing you like about Molloy, the fact that they forced the turnover, and then right down on the other end, Curtis Jenkins, who's averaging 13.2 points per game, was able to finish. So not only did they get the turnover, but then it leads to 2 points on the other side.
Great hands by Kamara to knock that one away. That pass to Shirley, going to find Dennis for 2 points. Ball kicked back out to the top. Nick Corbett for 3 off the mark. Second chance for Marquardt. This time it's good.
Well, that's money in the bank for Charlie Marquardt. Offensive rebound, second chance opportunity. Marquardt now has hit all his field goals from three-point land. He has 6 points.
He's got 81 trifectas on the season. And a turnover. Morris looking to lead out Marquardt, and he'll lay it in. Molloy on a run right now. They lead by 6, and Carlos DeJesus asks for time.
And again, you see it. It starts on one end, and the fans are starting to feed off of this run by the Lions of Molloy College. You see Charlie Marquardt. He hits a three-point field goal, and then Molloy forces the turnover on the other end. Marquardt in transition. Here's the three-pointer, top of the key, a terrific pass. Actually, a missed attempt by Corbett, but then the offensive rebound by Dennis kicks it out, and there's the top of the key 3 by Marquardt. And then off of the turnover right here that you see, DeJesus couldn't handle it. Quick hands by Curtis Jenkins in transition. Perfect stride. Marquardt the easy layup. So another run here by Molloy, and the key is the points off of the turnover.
Charlie Marquardt's second most three-point shots made this season. He's got 81 right now out of 199 attempts. Last year he set the program single season mark with 88. Perhaps a big weekend he could surpass that. DeJesus working with Benjamin, now at the Suji. DeJesus off the handle for a moment, but he's able to reset.
Bridgeport just looks very out of sync in their half-court set. They need a bucket.
Sam Joseph try to feed it down low inside to Benjamin. Back tip goes to Jenkins. Reset the shot clock, even though the soft horn for a second. DeJesus nearly picked his pocket. And a cool, calm take from Curtis Jenkins. He finishes.
Another 2 points off of the turnover. A nice hesitation move on the part of Curtis Jenkins. The Swiss cheese defense parting the Red Sea was Bridgeport, an easy 2 points.
And a foul on the near side, a little bit of a giveaway foul against Jenkins. That's his first. But it's a big run right now as you see that last take by Jenkins. Even with the defender on his back, still able to finish.
Oh, it was just that hesitation, stutter step, as he was able to just beat Osuji, showing his speed. That's a terrific move by Curtis Jenkins. He's averaging 13.2 points per game, and 12 minutes in, he already has 7, so he could be in for a very big night. 3 of 5 from the field.
Benjamin just fumbled that inbound, but able to find it back to Devon Trumbo. And Devon Trumbo coming off of a career-high 19 points on the quarterfinal win against Queens. Yet to have a look today. Asuji's 3, in and out, no good.
Bridgeport has gone cold and swarming white jerseys on the defensive end. Another one and done, whether it's been a turnover or a missed shot. Another empty possession for the Purple Knights.
So Jenkins now will just slow things down a little bit. The Bridgeport fans trying to back their team. Down inside, Benjamin blocks that shot. Rebound taken by Morris and a jump ball. Good hands by Carlos DeJesus. It will stay with Molloy, but we will go to a media timeout. It's the Lions on a run. They lead 27-19. Back in a moment on the ECC YouTube channel.
From Connecticut and the metropolitan New York area to Western New York. From Washington, D.C. to Long Island. The East Coast Conference is committed to excellence in academics, athletics, and service to the community throughout the Northeast region. The East Coast Conference, a proud member of NCAA Division II.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Welcome back here to the ECC YouTube channel. On the court right now, we have a couple of youngsters taking part in the Dress Like the Players contest, trying to put on the big shorts and the big shirts. And there we go. Now we got a basket going in. But that's maybe what could get Bridgeport going a little bit, is try to get the crowd into this ball game. And for more on that, let's send it down to Steve Balzon. Steve, what do you have?
And thanks very much, JJ. Mike Ruan, both during that last 30-second timeout and during the media timeout, talking to his team, telling them be more comfortable passing the ball to one another. Work the ball. Don't be afraid to pass it. Hard cuts to it. And make sure to play defense right now. Things going all Molloy's way. Back to you guys.
Well, they're going to need a couple of stops on their end and finishes on the other. Bridgeport, albeit they are cold of late, they're still shooting at 42% from the floor, but the turnovers are hurting them. Spinning his way is Morris. He won't get the finish, but he will go to the charity stripe. And you can see, Mike, this confidence oozing out of the Lions right now. They're going inside without fear and challenging Kyle Benjamin.
Well, what happened there, too, is that Morris on the defensive switch got the mismatch, and he had a 5-inch height advantage against Devon Trumbo. He didn't finish, but he was able to draw the foul, and he will be rewarded with 2 free throws.
Morris hits the first. He'll go to the line for a second. A 72% free throw shooter is the product out of Amherst, New York. Second free throw on the way is also good. And Morris now has 6 points. Again, the leading scorer in this game, well, top co-leading scorer, I should say, are Marquardt and DeJesus. Molloy, their largest lead of 9. Stefano Asuji back in the ball game. He's playing with 2 personals, so too is Sam Joseph. DeJesus trying to hand that ball down low, but there is no one with him. Marquardt pushing and blows right by one defender, and the up and under is good.
That's just a terrific move by Charlie Marquardt. I love the way he is filling the lanes in transition, and that time he got a beautiful pass and saw that he had an opportunity for a reverse layup and was able to finish with the left hand.
Trumbo calling his own number, no good, and it's a one and done for Molloy defensively.
And that's what we've seen as of late here. In the last 5 or 6 minutes, Bridgeport has gone completely ice cold.
Josh Dennis running the point, working with Mike Torrey, who's into the game, a travel underneath. And this is where now Molloy, they don't have deep depth in terms of scoring, but they can get good minutes from players like Torrey, like Dennis. Now can they convert and still have that big advantage going into the locker room?
Well, this is a big possession for the Purple Knights.
Joseph doesn't get the basket, but he does draw the foul, and now that was the last that Molloy has to give here in this first half. Both teams will be shooting free throws the rest of the way, and that would favor the Purple Knights. As a team, they shoot close to 76%. And I believe Charles Marquardt wanted a timeout. It's a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it here. And there's a lot of confusion at the scores table right now, just trying to make sure if Bridgeport's going to the line, if they're just inbounding underneath.
You see Mike Ruan diagramming a play with his team, staying on the floor with the 30-second timeout. And you switch over to Charlie Marquardt. Both of these coaches have a combined 40 seasons under their belts with their respective institutions. 23 for Marquardt and 17 for Ruan. There's Mike Ruan with the board setting up a play here, and he knows his team has their backs against the wall. They've only lost 3 games at home all season, and they want to just make a run here, the final 6-17, and get back in this ball game. There is a lot of basketball to play here.
Absolutely. Again, if Mike Ruan's team is able to get to the promised land and win this tournament, that would be the 10th time in his 17 years that he will have had a 20 or more win season. Charles Marquardt on the other end, of course, he's just synonymous with success, and now 19 of 23 years at the helm, he has made the postseason.
And these are the 2 longest tenured coaches in the East Coast Conference.
Sam Joseph, the runner, is good. And that's the first basket for Bridgeport in a fair few minutes.
And it's a big one there. Now they're within 10 with 6 minutes to go. Sam Joseph's second field goal.
Jenkins in a spot of trouble on the far side, met by the double team, and Joseph gets called for the foul. And that's a big call by Brad Chernovitz on the far side, because that is Joseph's third, and he is absolutely beside himself.
Well, Mike Ruan took the gamble, leaving Joseph and Usuji on the floor with 6 minutes to go. Here's the double team, a great job by Bridgeport, and then the entry pass is made, almost a steal as it was deflected, and then Marquardt kind of selling that, a bit of a flop on the floor, and it forces Sam Joseph to go to the bench with that third personal foul, and also it sends a very good free throw shooter in Marquardt to the line.
A flop of sell does not really matter. If the referees see it, they will call it. And Marquardt knocks down the first. He'll see a second. That's that risk-reward type of style that Mike Ruan uses in terms of his player personnel. Though he does have a deep enough bench that he could have kept Joseph out for the remainder of this half. He elected to keep him in, and it backfired.
And a bit of an understatement on my part. Charlie Marquardt, I said he's a very good free throw shooter. How about 90%? Beyond very good.
That's almost automatic in this sport, to be fair. Trumbo, he's blocked, swings it back, but it's picked off by Marquardt. It's 3-on-1 with trailers. Marquardt calls his own number and finishes. So Charlie Marquardt now has got 14 points and a timeout as well off to our right. Devon Trumbo hanging behind the play as he took a knock.
What a job there by Charlie Marquardt. First he picks up the steal, has the 2-on-1 in transition. Nick Corbett was streaking down the left side, but he decides to go 1-on-1 against Mayfield, keeping possession, and may have been fouled, but he's able to finish. That's just a terrific move by the senior from Rockaway Beach, and that has to make his father very proud. A game-high 14 points now for Charlie Marquardt, and 2 more points again for Molloy off of a Bridgeport turnover.
trying to see exactly what the issue is. Devon Trumbo well off to the left. He's not really wanting any sort of medical attention as the Bridgeport trainers look at him. But Molloy up by 14. That'll be the last of their worries. Benjamin off the window is good. And Bridgeport, they need Kyle Benjamin to get more touches inside. He only has 6 points, albeit a decent start. But when they're trailing by this much, they have to get that ball down to the blocks. That is their strength. Molloy's done a good job taking it away as Morris, he hesitated. The effort, though, too strong. Sharif Cobb being the primary ball handler right now with Trumbo on the bench. Mayfield, baseline jumper off the back iron, and it's fought for still. 3 players tussling on the ground. It will stay with the Purple Knights.
And this is what postseason basketball is all about. A nice take there along the baseline. The shot could not be finished by Osuji, but then a loose ball as we see the dribble drive. It's actually Mayfield who missed the shot. Back iron, and then look at the swarming jerseys, a loose ball, and everybody dives on the floor for it. The possession arrow stays with Bridgeport, so they will have it along the baseline, but you just love the intensity on the part of both of these teams. It's been as advertised this 2-3 matchup thus far.
Again, wasn't much to separate these two teams during the regular season. They split. Both times the home team ended up being victorious. Benjamin lost the handle, but he'll go to the line. Gazzardi picks up the foul.
Benjamin again got position. Gazzardi deciding to play behind him instead of fronting him. There was no help defense on the weak side. Benjamin saw that. He scored on the last time that he had it on the right blocks. This time he takes it into the paint and draws the foul.
Excuse me, it was actually the initial contact from Nick Corbett was the decision. So Corbett gets the foul, not Gazzardi. That's his second. Benjamin knocks down the first free throw. If you're Bridgeport right now, it hasn't been a great half for you offensively and defensively, but if they could find their way to get it to within 2 possessions, that's not the worst scenario for them. Molloy, though, is a team that loves to get out in front and go into cruise control. Jenkins' jumper is good.
Every time that Bridgeport starts to get a little bit of momentum, Molloy has an answer as Jenkins, once again with that step-back jumper, is pure. He's got 9 points now.
Benjamin, too strong on the response, and cleared out by Morris. Morris right now 6 points along with 3 boards. And Corbett crossing to the left, lost the handle. Good hands by Sharif Cobb to knock it away. Lead out was a little too far, but Cobb still able to finish.
Great speed there on the part of Cobb. It started off of the turnover, and then Sharif Cobb was able to knock it down.
And Sharif Cobb able to knock it last off Molloy, and that will bring us to a timeout. So Bridgeport trailing by 10, but maybe perhaps they're starting to see a little wind in their sails as we head to the final few minutes. This is the 2-3 matchup in the 2017 Men's Basketball Championships. You're watching this on ECC's YouTube page.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor.
It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
Well, from the last stoppage to this one, Bridgeport has only made a small cut into the deficit. Instead of leading or trailing by a dozen, they trail just by 10. Because Molloy is, as you said, Mike Moore, they found the response to every potential Bridgeport run.
Now let's see what the Purple Knights can do here in the half-court set. Down by just 10. Big possession coming up.
Carlos De Jesus spotting his 3 is off the mark, flying inside with Sharif Cobb, and The referees are going to say last touch by Molloy. Charles Marquardt, along with his son Charlie, a little bemused by that decision. They wanted Cobb getting called for going over the back.
Fresh shot clock here now for Bridgeport.
Mayfield spotting in the far corner. It's off the mark, and Bridgeport has been ice cold from distance there, 1 of 7. Marquardt, the step back jumper, no good, but that looked very good coming off of his hand. And boy, you can't give him any space anywhere near the three-point line because he'll throw it up from anywhere.
And if you're Bridgeport here, you don't have to settle for three-point shots. There's still 3 minutes to go in the half. You just want to have a good possession in the half court.
Cobb. No, we're going the other way. Charge taken by Marquardt as he stepped in late, and that's what the senior can bring you. He can do it on all ends. Rebound the ball, distribute, score, and take a charge or two.
And that's why he's a first-team all-conference player. Watch him go one-on-one. It looked like he may have been shuffling his feet just a bit, but they said he was stationary. He got the charge call in his favor.
Shuffling, and also the heels might have been inside the big white line. That is the perimeter in terms of those calls. Nonetheless, we play on. Dennis back down low to Jalen Morris with a hand in his face. The effort is off the mark. So Kyle Benjamin now 8 points, 6 rebounds. So the Purple Knights are not doing enough to get that ball down inside the mixer, and another turnover. Is that pass too hot to handle for Suji?
Just another sloppy possession for Bridgeport. You almost feel like they're looking up at the scoreboard and trying to score quickly. We're still in the first half, and, you know, another empty possession, which is the last thing that Mike Rowan wants. So they need to stop here and just try to build off of that, but they continue to struggle in the half court.
And they've gotten stops. They just haven't gotten the finish on the other end. Gazzardi back with Dennis. Tries to cross over the left. Sharif Cobb once again knocking away a loose ball, but Dennis able to win the race back to it. Now with 6 seconds left. The floater through the lane, too strong. Gazzardi with the offensive rebound. Able to hold the pivot, looking for an outlet.
That's huge there. Great job getting positioned by Gazzardi. Benjamin thought he had him boxed out, but now a fresh shot clock, and the Lions will use it to their advantage.
Jenkins, a little shake and bake, and it's good. That's a take there by Curtis Jenkins. He's now with 11.
And 5 of 7 from the field, and a second chance point off of the offensive rebound. The unsung hero, once again, was Gazzardi. Another big rebound for him.
Trumbo nearly traveled with it, still was able to keep it alive. Bridgeport now desperately need a basket here, then a stop. Cobb calling his own number, and it's good. So that brings it back to a single-digit deficit. Mike Rowan wants to use a timeout, but now Mike Rowan only has 2 timeouts to work with here in the second half, along with the medias, but clearly he wants to diagram something to get a stop on the one end and then another basket on the other.
That's a big 3, though, for Sharif Cobb, shooting 37% from behind the arc, and that is just the second 3-point field goal here for the Purple Knights, but a much-needed one from the top of the key. Back down to a 9-point game, 3-possession game here for the Purple Knights as we see them in the huddle. Mike Rowan, like you said, despite having just 2 timeouts remaining, calls it looking to diagram some sort of play here, hoping to cut into that deficit. Charlie Marquardt on the other side, probably telling his team 1:18 to go. Let's be patient and try to go at least 2 for 1 in terms of possessions here. And you have the arrow in your favor as well into the second half, so that's important moving forward.
So Molloy is a team, they're shooting at 59%, 2 of 4 from distance. Bridgeport at 41%. So the Lions can draw up here to try and restore their double-digit lead. Marquardt being hurried by Trumbo. His step-back jumper is still good. That's just too tough to defend right there. Marquardt lost his handle, but still had enough time and made himself big enough to knock down that jumper.
Ice water in his veins. A game-high 16 points. JJ 6 of 7 now from the field.
Trumbo, DeJesus back to Trumbo. And his effort is good.
Trumbo may have drawn a little bit of contact there. It's his first field goal, but he does finish over Gazzardi. Give credit to Trumbo, 6 foot even, giving up 8 inches on Gazzardi, but he's able to knock it down.
And Trumbo had to come out a little bit earlier. Might have gotten poked in the eye, but he's able to carry on forward. 4-second differential between shot and game clock here. Morris just going to hold and try to see this one close to the end. Now with Marquardt. He's got a game-high 16 points. Back to Morris with 2 on the shot clock. Off the mark. Benjamin clears. Bridgeport have enough time to get a shot off. To Asuji. Can he get it off? He cannot. And will go into the locker room. And associate head coach of Bridgeport, Kranti Senati, almost at halfway, having at it with Stefano Asuji because he wanted Asuji to take that runner through the paint. But it is going to be Molloy going into the locker room with a 9-point advantage here. And they must be feeling pretty good about themselves, knowing that Bridgeport, on their home court, have had a real ice-cold day from the field.
Without a doubt. And, you know, a team, like you said, that's averaging close to 80 points per game, just 32 in this first half, but they're within 9, a 3-possession game, single-digit deficit.
And let's send it down. Steve has head coach of Molloy, Charles Marquardt.
We're here at halftime where Molloy College leads Bridgeport by a score of 41-32, joined by Molloy coach Charles Marquardt. Coach, how would you evaluate your team's overall performance in the first half?
I think we're giving pretty good effort defensively, and we're rebounding. We need to do it again in the second half. And it's an intense game. We just got to keep playing smart.
You've held Bridgeport to 32 points on home floor, 43% shooting from the field. What do you feel your team has done particularly effectively on the defensive end?
I would say effort. I would put it on an effort right now. You know, we had a couple missed assignments. We just got to keep getting more and more connected with each other on the court, talking better.
You go to the locker room 20 minutes away now from a trip to the finals. What's your message to your team at halftime?
Just let's do it again. Let's be solid. Let's do it again.
Coach Charles Marquardt of the Molloy College Lions, thanks very much. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Once again, Charles Marquardt, head coach of the Molloy College Lions. We're at halftime, and we'll send it back to the table for JJ and Mike.
Thank you very much, Steve. We'll step aside. When we come back in a little while, we'll have your first half stats. Get you ready for the second half. You're watching the 2-3 matchup in semifinal number 2 on the East Coast Conference YouTube channel.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor.
It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
From Connecticut and the metropolitan New York area to Western New York. From Washington, D.C. to Long Island. The East Coast Conference is committed to excellence in academics, athletics, and service to the community throughout the Northeast region. The East Coast Conference, a proud member of NCAA Division II.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
Hi, I'm Drew Bogner, president of Molloy College, and I'm here to share with you some really exciting news. Molloy College was recently named the #1 Value All-Star in the United States by Money Magazine. That's right, #1 in the country. We are proud that Money Magazine has recognized what we've always known at Molloy College. We invest in student success, and we challenge them to succeed. Molloy students are committed to a value system that stresses a strong work ethic, resiliency, professionalism, and leadership. It's why they graduate and why they get hired. We invite you to visit Molloy and see for yourself why you belong here.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
You get to make a lot of different choices and become a leader, and that's what Stack has definitely helped me to do.
The environment here really helped me to develop my character, my confidence, my individuality.
I try to make my students be innovators because I try to make them think outside the box.
In classes, Stack really encourages students to work together and grow together.
There's an opportunity for everybody here.
Hope to see you soon.
We are the ones who broke our toys, just to put them back together again. The ones who were popular the night before the big test. The ones who are into drugs, the kind that cure diseases. The curious, the inventive, the geeky, and the ones who determine our own destiny. We are NYIT, and the future is ours.
Every day there is a decision. One that can, of course, change the course of this destination we call our future. Decisions come from moments. And in those moments at Roberts Wesleyan College, we acknowledge a vision that works out to a better way to be living. But what if I told you there's a decision? And I made one, you see? Because I came to Roberts Wesleyan College, I found a better me.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor.
It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
From Connecticut and the metropolitan New York area to Western New York. From Washington, D.C. to Long Island. The East Coast Conference is committed to excellence in academics, athletics, and service to the community throughout the Northeast region. The East Coast Conference, a proud member of NCAA Division II.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Hi, I'm Drew Bogner, president of Molloy College, and I'm here to share with you some really exciting news. Molloy College was recently named the #1 Value All-Star in the United States by Money Magazine. That's right, #1 in the country. We are proud that Money Magazine has recognized what we've always known at Molloy College. We invest in student success, and we challenge them to succeed. Molloy students are committed to a value system that stresses a strong work ethic, resiliency, professionalism, and leadership. It's why they graduate and why they get hired. We invite you to visit Molloy and see for yourself why you belong here.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you.
You get to make a lot of different choices and become a leader, and that's what Stack Assembly helped me to do.
The environment here really helped me to develop my character, my confidence, my individuality.
I try to make my students be innovators because I try to make them think outside the box.
In classes, Stack really encourages students to work together and grow together.
There's an opportunity for everybody here.
Hope to see you soon.
You get to make a lot of different choices and become a leader, and that's what Stack Assembly helped me.
And welcome back to the Harvey Hubble Gymnasium as we're a few moments away from beginning the second half of action between number 3 seed Bridgeport and number 2 seed Molloy. Let's send it down to the floor where Steve Balzan has Bridgeport's head coach Mike Ruan.
And we're here at courtside with Mike Ruan, head coach of the Bridgeport Purple Knights. Coach, at halftime, your team is down by 10. What adjustments do you plan to make coming out for the second half?
Hopefully we move the ball better, and not let them just go one-on-one and back us down and just jay us. So, I mean, we have to do a little bit better job of helping and try to pinching in.
Molloy scored 26 first half points in the paint. What do you do to make an adjustment and try to keep them out of that area?
Work around on the post, don't give up any offensive rebounds, and try to keep Charlie Marquardt out of transition.
You came from behind Wednesday night against Queens College. You're here on the same floor, the same situation. What's your message to your team at halftime?
Stay patient, and just try to get into a rhythm. There's still a lot of time. We can make a run and come back, but we need defensive stops and rebounds to get out.
Best of luck to you and your team in the second half, Coach Mike Ruan.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it.
Coach Mike Ruan of the University of Bridgeport Purple Knights at halftime, his team trailing by 9. Back to the table and you guys.
Oh, thank you very much, Steve. Mike Moore is to my left. I'm J.J. Duke, and I think Steve hit it perfectly. Bridgeport has been in this situation this postseason already where they've trailed at halftime, albeit much different situation. They're only down by 3 to Queens, and they're a pretty even Stevens with them. Molloy having their way through the first 20 minutes. What does Bridgeport, in your mind, need to do in the second half to close the deficit?
Well, I think they have to force more perimeter jump shots as we take a look at some of the highlights here in the first half, and it's all been about Curtis Jenkins with that nice little jumper in the paint. And Jenkins showing off that he can also score off the dribble drive, but he has been doing very well so far with 11 first half points. Here's Jenkins again going one-on-one, and from the foul line he's able to drain the jump shot. So, stopping him is one thing, but then you have Charlie Marquardt as well on the other end. Bridgeport did force a lot of turnovers as we see in that scoring points in transition. Sharif Cobb with a nice layup there off of the turnover. But, you talk about it and you look at the stats. 26 of Molloy's 41 points have been in the paint. Now, this is a team that we know is very good from the perimeter as well. So it opens up the inside-outside game for Molloy College. So I think what Bridgeport needs to do is just try to collapse more in the paint and force those perimeter shots to try to, get them back into this game. But like we were talking about, it's only a 9-point game. Bridgeport could very well be in a much bigger hole. They're doing pretty well defensively, but they're just struggling from the field.
Well, they're allowing Molloy to shoot at 59% from the floor, 17 of 29, 2 of 4 from distance. Molloy seemed to have a response every time that Bridgeport tries to make a run in this game. And the Lions right now only 20 minutes away from meeting St. Thomas Aquinas in the final. Again, that game will be taking place at 2:30, which you can watch at, of course, tomorrow at 2:30. You watch here on the ECC YouTube page. That will follow the Women's Championship game, which will be between NYIT and Molloy.
Charlie Marquardt, very happy with his team's performance in the first half, but he knows that Bridgeport has a run here in half number 2, and he has to be thinking to himself this, JJ, we're shooting 59% from the field, and we're only up by 9. Most times in a ball game when you're shooting that well, you at least have a lead of double digits. So he knows that Bridgeport is hanging tough, and they're struggling, shooting 42% from the field, but I think it's going to be about which team is more patient in the half-court sets. We know that each of these teams like to run and gun, but transition defense has been important, and both teams have had success. But I think the key now is what's going to happen when the pace starts to slow down just a little bit.
The rest of the first half stats look like this. Charlie Marquardt a game-high 16 points. Curtis Jenkins with 11 points, 5 rebounds. 6 each for Jalen Morris and Mike Gazzardi for Bridgeport. They're led by the trio of 8-pointers, Kyle Benjamin, Carlos DeJesus, and Sharif Cobb, though Benjamin has 7 rebounds. And Bridgeport, an uncharacteristic, just 4 assists in the first half. They average 16.5 per game. Bridgeport in their road black jerseys, albeit this is their home court. Molloy in their home whites. This is Jalen Morris now working with Marquardt. Step back jumper is good, and just like that, Charlie Marquardt's got 19.
His third three-point field goal on the evening, and that's a great start for Molloy as they extend the lead to double figures.
DeJesus nearly got away with the travel right there, but Benjamin muscles his way inside, and he's the first Purple Knight into double digits. Kyle Benjamin now 25 times he has hit 10 or more points, and this is game number 30 for Bridgeport. And he also missed the game against Molloy, remember, so he's 25 of now 29 this year. Trumbo back to DeJesus. Got the man to leave his feet, and he will go to the line. Now, is it 2 or is it 3? Tough to tell from our angle. We know the foul's going to be against Morrison. It will be 3 shots coming to one of the better free throw shooters on this team.
Well, how about Charlie Marquardt? He's now 7 of 8 from the field, shooting 45% during the season. He just continues to be that spark plug, but DeJesus drew the foul behind the arc, and he gets 3 free throws here.
The junior transfer from Monroe Community College knocks down the first. He is a native of the Bronx, Carlos DeJesus, averaging close to 10 points per game. Goes 1 of 2 to start, and be 1 more coming. Bridgeport can at least cut it to within 8 here. Manageable 3-possession ball game. That's exactly what DeJesus does. So Carlos DeJesus, along with Kyle Benjamin, both in double digits. Marquardt drew the double team, kicks to wide open Nick Corbett off the mark. That was a great look, though, for the ECC Rookie of the Year. And Trumbo now looking to push the tempo. DeJesus kicks to Joseph, wide open the corner, and Bridgeport looks to start to come back.
Just a great extra pass to Joseph, wide open for 3, shooting 37%, his first triple of the night, and just like that, it's a 2-possession game.
That brings the fans off to our left, up to their feet. Jenkins, the hesitation, still driving, and what a finish there by Curtis Jenkins, just muscling his way in.
That's just strength for the 6'3 sophomore from Farmingdale. He now has 13 points on the evening, and a big 2 there as the momentum is starting to shift in favor of Bridgeport.
Benjamin soars and finishes, so Kyle Benjamin with 12 points.
He wants the basketball in the paint. He's been one-on-one with Gazzardi all evening long, and those two have really been having a tremendous battle, and that time Benjamin was able to finish.
Morris looking to run the point now. Gazzardi pinching, or excuse me, Marco pinching well outside the area, and he's being marked very carefully. Drives the lane to Jesus, knocks it away from him. Brad Chernovitz on the near side says it was play on. And the spin through the lane, he still finishes. Oh, the elusive Charlie Marquardt now at 21.
Smooth move by Marquardt. Great hands by DeJesus on the deflection. Marquardt, cool as a cucumber, keeps it and then finishes with a nice little scoop in the paint.
Devon Trumbo backing his way in, count it, and he'll go to the line. Well, it seems like the energy coming out of the locker rooms has just picked up in echelons here as Bridgeport trying to feed off their home crowd. This will be one way to make things work as Devon Trumbo, again coming off 19 against Queens, finishes.
And look at the hesitation. He draws the contact on Morris and is able to have the wherewithal to still be able to get the shot off. And now he looks to complete the three-point play. That's a lot of poise on the part of the sophomore from Franklinville, New Jersey.
One of the rare players in Bridgeport to come in as a true freshman, did so last year. And Trumbo was 10 of 12 from the line against Queens, helped close that game out in the quarters. So he's a cool customer from the 15-foot line. Jenkins splits the fence and finishes. Well, neither team can get a stop here.
Jenkins now 7 of 9 from the field. Jenkins and Marquardt combined 15 of 18.
That was a heat check moment for Stefano Asuji on the far side. Not so much for him, but in terms of everybody on the floor right now. Morris driving with the left side, changes direction, still gets the finish. I mean, between Morris, who albeit has had a quiet start to this game, that's just 8 points for him, but he, Marquardt, and Jenkins, those three can carry that team for a long stretch. Joseph answers on the other end. And Bridgeport elects to take a timeout, and Mike Ruan now only has 1 timeout remaining.
Well, that's a clutch shot there by Sam Joseph, starting to heat up. 6 points in the half, all of them from behind the arc. You see there, the gamble does not pay off on the defense from Molloy, and Joseph showing a ton of confidence, shooting 37% from three-point land this season, and maybe that is the spark plug that he needs along with his team, because if you get him going, you have to also focus on, Kyle Benjamin, Carlos De Jesus. This is what we were talking about, the balanced attack for Bridgeport. And right now defensively, it seems like they are forcing Molloy to have somebody else besides Charlie Marquardt beat them. Now, Curtis Jenkins has a great game so far. Jalen Morris is 3 for 10. But you can see every time Marquardt touches the basketball, JJ, there is a double team, sometimes a triple team taking place. So let's see if that trend continues and who is going to be a member of that supporting cast for Molloy to step up and take over the reins.
Well, Mike Rowan clearly wanted to get something across to his team because now he only has 1 timeout to work with. That became the floor stoppage, so he kept it right here with you through it. Bridgeport trailing now by 5. This is the closest that they've been in quite a while. But now they need to stop defensively.
But they're getting the crowd involved as well. You could see on both three-point field goals by Sam Joseph, he immediately looks to his right and gets the crowd on their feet. That's what you have to love here on your home floor.
Well, he's a player that feeds off the emotion created either by himself or the people around him. Curtis Jenkins, again, great blow-by move, and he finishes with the right.
He beat the one defender and then able to go to the right high off the window. He's got 17 points, 8 of 10 from the field.
And Devon Trumbo responds on the other end. And Mike, it's ping-pong effect right now. Both teams just trying to one-up each other. And now we come to the media timeout with 5:55 to go. Bridgeport trying to close it to within 4. As you see that take right here, and we will send it to break. Back in a moment on the East Coast Conference Channel.
From Connecticut and the metropolitan New York area to Western New York. From Washington, D.C. to Long Island. The East Coast Conference is committed to excellence in academics, athletics, and service to the community throughout the Northeast region. The East Coast Conference, a proud member of NCAA Division II.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Well, if you like run and gun offense, you've come to the right place here on the East Coast Conference YouTube channel. JJ Duke, Mike Moore, Steve Balzan here with you from the Harvey Hubble Gymnasium in Bridgeport, Connecticut. And we were seeing that Steve Balzan was eavesdropping a little bit on the timeouts. What did you hear?
During that media timeout, Coach Charles Marquardt telling his team, don't get wrapped up in their tempo. We get our tempo from stops. Bridgeport 6 of 7 from the field to start the second half, turning the game around in the early going. Back to you guys.
Well, Bridgeport gets a free throw to go by Trumbo. Back to a 4-point ball game. This is the closest that Bridgeport has had in a long time. They led by 3, about 12 minutes to go in the first half. Jenkins thought about the step-back jumper, instead goes with Marquardt. Bridgeport puts Carlos DeJesus on him. DeJesus really one of the better defenders for Bridgeport and forces a tough jumper.
Now Bridgeport looking to run in transition off of the miss.
And a nice hand by Jenkins, knocks away the basketball, and Trumbo, is that going to be an intentional foul? Let's see. The referees are coming together, and it's just going to be a common foul, and that is a break right there for the Purple Knights because Trumbo made little intention to play the ball.
But without it being an intentional foul, it's a smart foul here off of the turnover. You see there the quick foul, and looking to sell it was Jenkins, but he's not going to get the call in his favor, and now some extracurricular activity.
It looks like double technicals are coming as Curtis Jenkins and Carlos DeJesus are having at it on the baseline. Brad Chernovitz getting right into the thick of things, and there it is. Great look by the referees, or excuse me, by the camera guys to see that one.
Brad Chernovitz getting right between them as they were jawing back and forth at each other. And a double technical has been called. DeJesus for Bridgeport, and as you said, Jenkins from Molloy.
We've seen it on times this year that Carlos DeJesus can lose his cool a little bit as another foul down low. This is Stefano Asugi, and that's his third personal.
And now the level of physicality is starting to increase here as the Lions fans to our far right showing their appreciation as it's getting very, very chippy out on the floor. Hopefully cool heads will prevail.
Well, there's all sorts of emotions coming from the two sets of fans in the stands. Off to our right, Molloy fans happy with it. Bridgeport fans off to their left, couple of mock cheers, a few cheers just to try to get their team motivated, but a lot of boos as well. Mike Torre will get called for the travel. And there's the rouse from the Bridgeport faithful.
And that's a good call there. He got the pass to him off of the inbounds, but trying to get the defender up in the air did shuffle his feet. Bridgeport gets the turnover and now looking to make this a one-possession game.
Just the 7th turnover of the day for Molloy. So DeJesus works with Joseph. Back to DeJesus, spotting off the front rim, but Joseph able to come up with it and finishes.
Sam Joseph is having himself a second half. 8 points in total in the half, 12 overall, tying with Benjamin for the team high.
And that's all just coming in 5 minutes, by the way. Bridgeport trailing by 9 coming into the second half. Still loose with Marquardt able to pick up the loose remains and go hard, but Benjamin swats it away. Kyle Benjamin, that is part of the game that he loves to shot block. He's got 80 now in the season.
Just a great defensive play there on the part of Kyle Benjamin. Watch the fight by DeJesus. He knocks it away momentarily. Marquardt picks it up, and look at Benjamin soaring up in the air and swatting it away from the first team all-conference member. That's why he is the co-defensive player of the year.
And we're really seeing it from both defensive players of the year. They're in this game. Jenkins on one end, he's influenced a couple of turnovers, and now Benjamin forcing a block and then a charge taken by Devon Trumbo.
And now you feel the momentum shifting back in favor of the Purple Knights. Trumbo giving up the body. He's just 6 feet tall. Watch him just take the charge there. A little bit of an elbow on the part of Josh Dennis. He did not think that he should have been called for that foul, but a good call there. And now Bridgeport, believe it or not, has a chance here with a 3 to take the lead.
And Trumbo Well, maybe a little rush of blood to the head right there. The fans were almost out of their seat. In fact, a few off to our left were.
This place would have exploded if he made that shot.
Morris back to Marquardt, step back jumper off the back iron. Gazzardi with a real nice rebound there. He had to fight off Benjamin just to get position, and that's Kyle Benjamin's third personal.
And Marquardt is a little cold now after starting 8 for 9. He's missed his last 3 shots here in the second half. Look at him get the pass off of the dribble, and he misses a pretty wide open 3, a little too strong on the back iron.
My apologies, that was actually his second personal. So Benjamin just with 2. Marquardt draws the trip, and now Sam Joseph has 4, and that's a confirmed 4.
Decision time here from Mike Ruan. Just 6:07 gone by in this second half. Let's watch the replay as he just did kind of trip Marquardt, throwing the knee out towards him. Marquardt drew the foul, and he's looking for some help there, does Sam Joseph. He comes out of the game, but I think that was a good call there. Marquardt sold it pretty well, but now he has to sit here with those 4 personal fouls, and that's big. He's been red hot here in the second half. Like you said, 8 points in a span of 5 or 6 minutes, and now he's probably going to have to sit out with those 4 personal fouls until you'd think maybe about the 5-minute mark or so.
5 or 6. I've seen Mike Rowan roll the dice with 7 with a player with 4. It depends on the time and the circumstances. Seeing how this game has really come to a standstill right now in terms of the pace, I wouldn't be surprised to see him come in before 5.
And we're only 6:07 into the second half, and each team has only just 1 more foul to give. So we're going to see a lot of free throws the rest of the way.
Both teams are very good free throw shooters. Bridgeport second best at 76%. Molloy at 75%. They're at third. Gazzardi, not too bad of a free throw shooter in his right, but he walked.
Great defense there by Kyle Benjamin. He just held his spot. Gazzardi, who is a very good ball handler, tried to make the move, but he was called for the travel. Credit Kyle Benjamin. You know, he just saw a dynamic block that he had on Charlie Marquardt, but he did not take the bait and go up in the air. He stayed stationary and forced the turnover.
Isuji down low to Benjamin. Fall away jumper, shorted it, and Jenkins comes away with the rebound. He's got numbers with him, calling for the ball on the far side. Count the basket and the foul.
And that's Charlie Marquardt again with the finish. He goes to the New Jersey because he had blood on the number 32. Look at him in transition. The mismatch, spin move onto Jesus, and then draws the foul against Trumbo. And then a little show of emotion to the fans now looking to complete the 3-point play.
Great catch on that, because I was looking down my roster and saying, who is number 20? But Charlie Marquardt is number 20. He has now got 23 points. There you go, 23 points. 24 points, excuse me. DeJesus, 3 is off the mark. Bridgeport starting to settle right now after that run. The lead out pass to Corbett gets him a layup.
And that's what you see there if you're Molloy. The one guard, Corbett, leaks out after the shot attempt, and then the touchdown pass, perfect in stride to Corbett. He's able to finish. 5 unanswered for the Lions at back up 7.
Bridgeport had multiple looks to tie the ball game or even take the lead, but Molloy is responding right back. Sharif Cobb's 3 is off the mark, and now that's 3 straight possessions that Bridgeport has settled for a jump shot.
A little too much emotion here as they're settling for 3-point shots. They got right back into the ball game, and now again in this game that has been very seesaw in this second half, Molloy is looking to respond once again.
DeJesus gets called for the hedge foul, and now Bridgeport is into the bonus. Molloy shooting 1-1. Nick Corbett will be going to the line. And the ECC Rookie of the Year, he almost kind of gets lost in translation a little bit between the 2 scorers and Morris and Marquardt. He's a very prone finisher in his own right. He has gotten himself up in the round of 29 on a couple of occasions, including doing that against Bridgeport right on this floor a few weeks ago. He only has himself 5 points now, but this could be one of those moments where when this game should start to get into a lull in the next few minutes. He might be one of those players that will pick the tempo right back up.
Well, credit Molloy. Bridgeport got to within 2 at 54-52. Since then, the Lions are now on a 7-0 run.
Benjamin got the defender to leave his feet and backing his way inside. Tried the extra feed to Cobb. Good rotation by Molloy defensively. Cobb has to reset with 6 on the shot clock. With 3, kicks to Mayfield. His 3 is off the mark. Asuji able to find Trumbo, but he knocked it out of bounds. So Molloy, after seeing Bridgeport cut it to within 2, had a couple of chances to tie. They have gone on a 7-0 run over the last 90 seconds and lead by 9. Back in a moment here on the ECC YouTube channel.
From Connecticut and the metropolitan New York area to Western New York. From Washington, D.C. to Long Island. The East Coast Conference is committed to excellence in academics, athletics, and service to the community throughout the Northeast region. The East Coast Conference, a proud member of NCAA Division II.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Well, Charles Marquardt, the head coach of the year in the East Coast Conference, has to be feeling pretty good about himself right now as Molloy on a 7-0 run over the last 90 seconds, extending their lead nearly to double digits.
Well, you knew the run was coming on the part of Bridgeport. They got to within 2, and there's Charlie Marquardt, the coach of the year in the ECC in his 23rd season. And then what do the Lions answer? How do they answer? They come back with a 7-0 run of their own, and just like that, the lead is back up to 9. Plenty of time left in this ball game, and Bridgeport has to go on another run here. It starts with a defensive stop.
Handling the ball, Charlie Marquardt, wearing the 20 jersey, had to switch out of his 32 due to the fact that he had a little blood on his old jersey. Lost the handle out of bounds, though, last touched out by Sharif Cobb. 10 left on the shot clock. If you're Bridgeport right now, you need a stop and you need a couple of makes, but they've been settling for jump shots, going away from what has worked best. Get down into the blocks. Corbett with 3 on the shot clock. No good, but we're going the other way. So I believe it's going to be Marquardt who gets the foul. And that will be, I believe, his second. It is his second.
Shot clock winding down. Corbett had to force up the shot. Great job by Bridgeport boxing out. And then the loose ball foul goes against Marquardt. But like you said, only his second, so he's not in any sort of foul trouble. Bridgeport gets the stop, and now they're looking for some points on the other end.
Swano Suji weaving his way inside Sharif Cobb, and that's much better in the case of Bridgeport. 30 now of their 54 points have come inside the paint.
First field goal of the second half for Cobb, 4th player in double figures for the Purple Knights.
Morris' shot blocked by Benjamin, pings around and Cobb comes away with it. Those are the stops that Bridgeport needed. Now can they finish on the other end? The no-look pass from Cobb to Suji. 2-possession ball game, 10.5 to go.
What a look from Cobb to Osuji. It started, though, with the big block by Kyle Benjamin.
Now on the other end, it's Cobb blocking it away. And now Bridgeport have numbers here, trying to cut it back to 1 possession. Mayfield, they'll picked up the pivot foot. Going back to that, though, the fine down low. Bridgeport is a team that loves to move the ball around. However, that was just their 9th assist of the game. They've had as many as 24 in a contest this season. As you see the dish, or excuse me, that was the take by Asuji. Then the possession after with a little no-look helper.
Now Osuji trying to step it up here for the Purple Knights.
Gazzardi's going to launch from downtown, and he gets it. Mike Gazzardi, just 2 of 14 from beyond the arc this year.
And it could be that kind of night for Molloy. Benjamin obviously giving him that three-point shot, knowing that he's only made 2 all year, and he's able to connect.
Asuji with the head of steam finishes.
Great take along the baseline. No help defense on the part of Gazzardi, and Asuji was able to connect on the floater.
Gazzardi thought about launching it once again. Instead goes inside the lane, a little bit too strong, and Marquardt stepped out of bounds. Oh, it looked like from Gazzardi there, he was looking down the floor to say, hey, you know what, I'm there, might as well let fire. As a timeout taken by Charles Marquardt. We will stay here. That's the first timeout taken by Molloy.
Yeah, that's a great job, though, by Gazzardi. You know what? He sees Benjamin playing back, and he said to himself, you know what? I'm going to take the shot, and he was able to convert. He has 9 points on the evening, trying to be the third player for Molloy to reach double figures, and 9:35 to go, 2-possession game. Bridgeport gets the ball back. Now, you saw in the last possession, like you mentioned, Gazzardi thought about the three again, was wide open. Instead, takes the drive along the baseline and shoots an air ball. Marquardt, the weak side rebound, but stepped out of bounds. So Bridgeport regains possession. Plenty of time left. And right now the hot hand is in that man of wearing the jersey number 2, Sharif Cobb. He's got 10 points, but he's also been distributing the basketball very well, and he's getting the job done on the defensive end also. So let's see if that trend continues for the junior from Harlem.
Still plenty of time left in this ball game as we're just past halfway gone in the second half. JJ Duke, Mike Moore here with you from Bridgeport, Connecticut. Devon Trumbo blocked away by Jalen Morris. Morris, he's not afraid to get into the mix. That was his 14th swat of the season, though more efficient on the scoring end. As Trumbo, he's been very aggressive on these takes, but Morris read that one well.
Yeah, and Gazzardi was waiting for him as well. A nice stutter step move there by Trumbo, but Morris picks up the block.
Cobb running the point even with Trumbo on the floor. Still Cobb, nice little step back, got it.
What a move there by Cobb behind his back, and the defender had no opportunity there to try to stop him, and then the right elbow jump shot was pure.
9 minutes to go, Bridgeport back only trailing by 4. Mike Torre into the game, lost the handle of it, diving around. Jenkins picks it up. Corbett spotting from distance, and he gets it a go. Oh, Nick Corbett, the freshman from Staten Island, knocking down a 3.
First of the night. It looked like it was going to be an empty possession for Molloy, but then Corbett wide open at 38% of the season, knocks down a big 3.
The Monsignor Farrell product found that. Kickball on the far side. Those will keep possession with Bridgeport. And it's just been that way for Molloy today. They've had their 2 primary scorers in Marquardt and Jenkins. Let's see that last sequence here as Jenkins with the unselfish helper found Corbett, who's 1 of 3, to have 9. DeJesus lost the handle of it, and numbers coming here for the Lions. Morris hard to the lane, finishes.
Morris picking up the loose ball off of the turnover. He's now in double figures with 10, third player to do so. And again, a turnover on one end, and you see the fast break opportunity, numbers the other way, and Morris was able to finish.
And immediately Molloy back up by 9. Bridgeport has gotten it as close as 2 and 4 here in the second half. Cobb will go to the line.
And you talk about the number 9. Second time in this half that Bridgeport was within a pair, and again, just like we saw earlier in the half, Molloy goes on a 7-0 run. So here, they're back up by that 9. And now a chance here for Bridgeport to cut into the deficit with a pair of free throws.
Sharif Cobb's first is good. Just a 66% free throw shooters. Bridgeport's going to send out Benjamin and Asuji in. Would be Campbell and Kamara. Believed after a short, very short respite. Marquardt back into the ball game. And Cobb, rarity, but he goes 2 of 2 from the line.
Back down to a 7-point game. Molloy slowing the pace down just a bit. Time not a factor just yet. We'll see how they set up here in this half court.
Mike Torre hard to the lane. No shot, saying foul goes on the floor. This will be against Bakari Kamara. And when we come back, it'll be Molloy shooting free throws. It'll be a 1-and-1. But the Lions right now trying to punch their ticket to the championship game. Stack is awaiting the winner of this contest. We'll step aside, back in just a moment.
From Connecticut and the metropolitan New York area to Western New York. From Washington, D.C. to Long Island. The East Coast Conference is committed to excellence in academics, athletics, and service to the community throughout the Northeast region. The East Coast Conference, a proud member of NCAA Division II.
Hi, I'm Drew Bogner, president of Molloy College, and I'm here to share with you some really exciting news. Molloy College was recently named the #1 Value All-Star in the United States by Money Magazine. That's right, #1 in the country. We are proud that Money Magazine has recognized what we've always known at Molloy College. We invest in student success, and we challenge them to succeed. Molloy students are committed to a value system that stresses a strong work ethic, resiliency, professionalism, and leadership. It's why they graduate and why they get hired. We invite you to visit Molloy and see for yourself why you belong here.
Steve Balson was eavesdropping in the Bridgeport huddle during that last timeout. Let's hear what he had to say.
Yeah, getting to eavesdrop on Mike Rowan. There's not a lot of secrets between these two veteran coaches. Last time out, Charlie Marquardt told his Molloy Lions, we don't want to get into their tempo. Well, Mike Rowan gave his team the same message. We want to get the tempo up and get it frantic. Each team on the same page. They know what to expect from one another. Molloy trying to hold on to this lead. Back to you, fellas.
Well, it's going to be a fun last 7:47 left as Mike Torre knocks down both free throws. So Molloy back up by 9 with 7 3/4 left. Sharif Cobb working with Mark Campbell, now Bakari Kamara and Carlos DeJesus. Bridgeport running the three-man weave. Now Trumbo. Hard through the lane, too strong. Cobb with the finish, and he'll go to the line. So Sharif Cobb, he's got 16 points, just a few points away from a new career high.
Just a terrific job there, picking up the weak side offensive rebound and just going straight up with it as well. Watch the replay. Nice take by Trumbo. Just misses. A lot of contact there. Nobody boxing out Cobb, soaring way up in the air.
And he finishes the three-point play. Cobb had 20 points on the road at Roberts Wesleyan earlier this year. Also had a 10 spot against Southern Connecticut. This would be just the third time all year that he's gone above 10 points, but he makes them count because, by the way, both of those times that he hit 10+, Bridgeport won both of those games.
So now he has a team-high 17 on 6 of 8 from the field.
Torre left wide open in the corner after a jab step, the effort off the mark. Big rebound by Jenkins, and he puts it back in.
Boy, big rebound exactly there. A huge putback by Jenkins. Bridgeport had a chance. Got the stop that they were looking for, but no boxing out. So each team doing a poor job on the defensive rebounding side the last two possessions.
Trumbo too strong on the effort. Cobb, another big rebound for him, and he'll reset. Well, Sharif Cobb is having himself one heck of a game.
6'1", going way up high for that offensive rebound.
Campbell, hard of the lane, no good. Fighting for the rebound. He finds Benjamin in the process, and he finishes. Bridgeport's not going away quietly on their home court, and they have a chance to cut it back to within 5.
And once again, it's created because of the offensive rebound. What a job on the glass by the Purple Knights as Mark Campbell is able to not only pick up the offensive rebound, tiptoe the sideline, and make a beautiful pass to Benjamin, who was able to finish. Now looking to complete the three-point play. Got the crowd involved again as well.
Benjamin completes a three-point play. He's got 15. 4 Bridgeport players, 3 Molloy players in double digits. Bridgeport has been as close as 2 and 4 in the second half. Marquardt's effort off the mark, back tipped out, and Benjamin able to snag it.
Marquardt has now missed his last 4 shots. Just 1 of 5 in the second half after going 8 of 9 earlier.
Cobb feeling it with the offhand, shorted that one by a mile and cleared away. Morris playing 1 and 2 with Corbett. And Morris driving right to the lane, no shot. No shot, says the referee on the far side. But Jalen Morris will go to the line as Morris had to really work hard for these double digits. Just in the first half alone, he was operating right around the 4-6 point mark, but now he's got 10.
You see Jalen Morris there going coast to coast once again. Such a tremendous ball handler. He knows that Bridgeport is over the limit. He'll get a 1-on-1 here. The last foul before the double bonus for the Lions.
First one is good. He'll see another. Excuse me. Morris had 6 points in that first half, 2 of 9 from the floor. Still very quiet here. 6 points potentially in the second half, which he has. And again, credit to Molloy. Every time that Bridgeport has made some sort of a run, they've figured their way back out front, make it a 2-3 possession game.
And the balance continues. 3 players in double figures for Molloy, and Gazzardi and Corbett each have 9, so potentially they could have 5 by the end of tonight. That's just balance because it really forces the hand of Bridgeport thinking about who do you focus on defensively. Very difficult challenge for Mike Ruan.
And Bridgeport also, at the same time, they have 4 players in double digits. Could be 5, may even be 6. They only have 6 players who have points, but all 6 could be above 10. Joseph, fadeaway jumper is good, and it was a 3 at that. Back to a 4-point game.
Joseph, 11 points in this second half, 9 of them from downtown. 15 overall, tying with Benjamin for second most in the game.
And remember, he's playing with 4 personals. He's been sitting the last few minutes. Marquardt with contact, nothing there. It will stay Molloy.
And Charles Marquardt looking for the call on in favor of his son Charlie Marquardt, but his struggles continue. He's now 1 of 6 from the field, 9 of 15 overall. But remember, JJ, he started 8 for 9, and his frustrations continue. You can see him with his hands at his knees, and you wonder how much the fatigue factor is starting to play in as well, because we have rarely seen him on the sideline this evening. He knows that this could be the final game that he plays as a member of this Molloy College Lions team. He doesn't want his career to end, and he wants to really, step up in these final 5 minutes of the second half.
Well, you're right, because in the regional picture right now, only Stack is the team that's in the mix, and even if they don't win tomorrow, they would be in the East Regional. Molloy or Bridgeport, they would need to at least win this game to see their season carry on. The putback is in by Gazzardi. It's back to 6-point game.
Huge offensive rebound there for Gazzardi. He now has 11 points.
Joseph with the spinorama. Trumbo, though, didn't want to force it, and Bridgeport will reset. DeJesus threw it right away, and that's going to be an easy layup for Marquardt. It looked like DeJesus just lost his handle for a moment. Now Bridgeport nearly turned it over. That's not the first time that they've done that this season. As a foul goes against Marquardt. Bridgeport were leading St. Thomas Aquinas by 5 a couple of weeks ago right in this very gymnasium.
Sloppy turnover there, though, as he telegraphed that pass, and Marquardt was able to finish.
And then what happened would be chaos. Stack hit a 3, but then called a 2. And then on a similar pass, with just little pressure, Bridgeport just throws it away off the inbound and nearly lost the game at the drop of a hat pretty much. But the Purple Knights go to the line with Devon Trumbo.
And I was watching that game, JJ, and the Stack sideline and their fans thought that after the make on the steal that it was a tie game, but they did not realize that previous possession was ruled a 2-point field goal instead of a 3, thus the defeat. A wild game.
That was one for the memory banks. I'm not sure that Tobin Anderson has forgotten about that game. Not that it really changed things seeding purposes. Asuji trapped in the corner. He's able to find Benjamin, but it's stripped away by Marquardt. And now Jenkins going hard to the lane. He can't finish. There's a break right there for the Purple Knights. And remember, Bridgeport only with the 1 timeout left, so Mike Ruan did not want to take it there. He was ready and willing to see his team give away possession there just to save the stoppage. Ball out of bounds on the far side.
And, you know, you were talking about the fact that Mike Rowan is down to 1 timeout. He also has the media timeout coming up. So, you know, that's going to be important moving forward because you want to have to hang on to that and not burn it late in this ball game.
Molloy has 2 timeouts left, but you don't often see the team that's out in front taking timeouts unless they truly need it. Joseph with a hand in his face. Didn't hear Bank on the call. Still loose. Trumbo fighting for it. So too is Corbett, and he comes away with possession. Marquardt carrying forward. Nice catch, but Gazzardi shorts the layup. Great contest by Benjamin. And it's a jump ball as Gazzardi hits the deck. And that will bring us to the media timeout. Oh, bodies flying everywhere, but as you said it earlier, Mike Moore, that's what this month can bring you. March Madness, both teams fighting to keep their season alive. We'll step aside, back in a moment on the ECC YouTube channel.
From Connecticut and the metropolitan New York area to Western New York. From Washington, D.C. to Long Island. The East Coast Conference is committed to excellence in academics, athletics, and service to the community throughout the Northeast region. The East Coast Conference, a proud member of NCAA Division II.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Well, Molloy leading by 7. Going into the final phase of this contest. We'll get to another jersey change for Charlie Marquardt, but we'll send it back to the floor with Steve Velzon.
As you might expect, Charlie Marquardt on the Molloy College bench with a 7-point lead inside 4 minutes to play, telling his team, just keep doing what you're doing. The last few possessions have been solid. Keep running your sets. 5 players box out and we'll be okay. We'll see if Molloy can hold on during this last 3 minutes, 44 seconds. Back to you guys.
Well, that'll be head coach Charles Marquardt. And now, with another cut that Charlie Marquardt can't stop. This is now his 3rd jersey that he has gone to. He is now wearing 40, was 32, then 20, and now 40. Boy, I hope the washing machines back on the island have been working tonight.
That's for sure.
Sharif Cobb tied up, kicks it to Joseph for 3, got it! Well, Bridgeport has always found that key basket, but they haven't found the stop yet in this game.
4th 3 in the second half for Sam Joseph. 14 points in the half, 18 overall, now leading the Purple Knights.
Corbett with 13 on the shot clock. Lost the handle of it for a moment. Trumbo all over him. Jenkins with 7, spins through the lane, off balance, take no good. Gazzardi with the offensive rebound. His putback no good, and Benjamin clears. Now Bridgeport looking to run with Trumbo, has a Suji with the look. We're going the other way. Taking the charge was Nick Corbett.
And Mike Rowan putting his hands on his head in frustration. We'll take a look at the replay. Was he inside the cylinder? Look at the speed and transition on the part of Trumbo. He was not. Giving up the body there was Corbett. It looked like from that replay that it was a pretty good call, as Corbett at 5'11", the freshman of the year, rookie of the year, a huge stop defensively there, giving up the body for Molloy.
And this could be a big swing because Asuji made the basket and he thought he got fouled, because then if he made the free throw, it would be a 1-point ball game. 2:45, mark that down with the foul. Let's see if that changes things here. Corbett driving with the left, great no-look feed to Gazzardi. He loses the handle of it. Great hands by Cobb to knock it to a teammate. So Bridgeport has gotten 2 stops. Now can they get closer to this game? Bridgeport has called their timeout, so the last roll of the dice here, the last card that Mike Rowan shows. And they'll have a full timeout. And if you are Mike Rowan, what would you be saying at a time like this?
JJ, patience, patience, patience. That's the message. You're down by just 4. You have possession. It's a 2-possession game with 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go. You don't have to hoist up 3-pointers here. Maybe go after Gazzardi. He's been a little frustrated on the last couple of possessions offensively, had a couple of turnovers and then an offensive rebound and missed the putback. So do you attack him with Kyle Benjamin, work that inside-outside game? The bottom line is this: you just have to get a good look here. You don't have to force up a 3-point field goal because you're right back in this game, and it's a gigantic possession, 24 on the shot clock. But I think that's the message. Just get the best look that you possibly can. It may be a 3-point shot, but you don't have to force that up here. I think you have to look for them to try to get it to Kyle Benjamin on the low blocks against Gazzardi.
So Bridgeport has possession here on the side. And they're trying to rile the fans up into a frenzy again. Bridgeport as a 3 seed. This is being played on their campus because the conference predetermined this site before the season. So by coincidence or by fate, we will see what happens. Bridgeport needs to get that ball in quickly. Trumbo nearly got called for a 5 count. Asuji driving the lane hard. He'll go to the line. Let's see who they put this on, by the way. It's going to be against Corbett. That is his 3rd personal. So Marquardt, Jenkins, and Corbett all have 3. Morris and Josh Dennis have 4 each. Morris is obviously the bigger concern right now.
Suji taking it baseline. Like you said, just a good job by Bridgeport getting the ball in before a 5-second violation. And now Osuji goes to the line. The clock freezes at 2:16, an 82% free throw shooter.
Osuji, senior out of Voorhees, New Jersey, a product of Erie Community College. Knocks down the first. It's been a tough night for Stefano, though that is point number 7 for him. He had a double-double at home against the Lions on the 11th of February with 18 points, 11 rebounds. From this point forward, we'll be shooting 2 for both teams. He goes 2 of 2, back to a 2-point ball game. This is the closest that Bridgeport's gotten here in this half.
3rd time now in this half that they've gotten to within 2, and every time Molloy has had an answer.
Morris will slow things up as we come to the 2-minute moment here in the second half. And a blocking foul goes against Sharif Cobb. And if you are Bridgeport, that's the last person you want to put on the line.
And Mike Rowan and Kranti Sonati both saying that it should have been a push-off. If anything, maybe no call, but that is the call that goes in favor of Molloy. Let's see the move here by Marquardt. Gazzardi also may have been called for an illegal screen, but now, like you said, you put a near automatic free throw shooter in Charlie Marquardt to the line. He's 3 for 3 tonight, 90% on the season.
Marquardt right now, 26 points on the day. It's a 2 shots coming. First is good. And don't think for a second that it's as very loud as you can hear at home. It's just as loud as it is in this facility, but Marquardt, as cool as you like, finishes it off. Last year, Marquardt eclipsed the 1,000 career point mark, closing in on 300 career made threes as well. So he knocks down both free throws. He has 297. And boy, he would love to maybe get one more crack at it tomorrow afternoon. His team are a minute 45 away. Benjamin tried to send that to the far side, picked off by Jenkins. Jenkins now going coast to coast. He lost the handle of it, and it's just going to be a foul. If it's against Joseph, that's his 5th. It's against Cobb.
Benjamin, very last minute, decided to try to kick that ball out. Obviously, he had a nice look in the paint one-on-one against Gazzardi, but an unselfish pass results in a costly turnover. And now Jenkins goes to the line the other way, looking to add to this 4-point lead.
It's not a great look there from Benjamin. Of his ability, he should be able to just go hard in the hole instead of trying to facilitate. Jenkins, he's got 20 now. He's gone as high as 22 on a pair of occasions, once at home against this Purple Knights team. Molloy back up by 6 with 1:28 to go.
Still don't need a 3 here if you're Bridgeport, but a must-have possession.
Cobb hard to the lane, too strong there. It's tipped out to Corbett. And a big one and done for the Molloy Lions.
Remember, Bridgeport is also out of timeouts.
And this time, Charles Marquardt elects to take one of his 2 remaining timeouts. And it's going to be a full timeout as well. And boy, when you're going to look at the back of this one, Mike Moore, Bridgeport had a couple of great looks to try and take leads or at least tie it up, but sometimes a little bit too unselfishness has cost them.
And now Molloy is in the driver's seat. 1:07 to go. And they're leading by 6. Still a 2-possession game, but time is definitely of the essence here. And it's the ally of the Lions and the enemy of the Purple Knights. Charlie Marquardt, 107 away from a trip to the championship game tomorrow afternoon against St. Thomas Aquinas. But that is going to seem like an eternity, that 1:07. I know what it's like on the sideline. And boy, when you have the lead, it just seems like the clock never hits triple zeros. And when you're trailing, it goes by so fast.
Nick Corbett will trigger here from the near side. Bridgeport doesn't need to foul in this situation, but they need a stop desperately. 12 on the shot clock. Good screen by Gazzardi. Couldn't find the roll, however, so Corbett resets with 6. Corbett still going. A contested jump shot off the mark, and Bridgeport able to get the rebound.
Now they have to look to push.
But they don't need a 3 in this situation. Joseph is thinking a 3 and misses it. And great rebound by Jenkins, coming away with it. Now Bridgeport has to take the foul, and Trumbo does that. Now Molloy, they might be thinking that the end of the light, or the end of the tunnel, is right there.
Absolutely, and like you said, Bridgeport did not need the 3. A very good look from the right baseline off the mark. And you were mentioning this last minute and a half or so, a couple of empty possessions on the part of the Purple Knights. They were getting some stops defensively, and now you have to force yourself to send a very good free throw shooting team in Molloy to the line where they shoot 76% on the season. And the Lions 33.3 seconds away, starting to feel it, but we've seen crazier things happen. We know that.
Jalen Morris, his first free throw is no good. Morris, that's his first miss from the charity stripe today. He's got 12 points along with 5 rebounds and 3 assists. Again, Bridgeport is out of timeout, so they'll have to push no matter what. But an 0 for 2 from Morris. Bridgeport can still get it back to 1-possession game here. Cobb kicks to Suji, and it goes right out of bounds. And again, Bridgeport just pressing to try and get a 3-pointer off. They didn't need it on either of those occasions.
And now defense in here for offense as Benjamin will sit. But yeah, 2 empty possessions, a costly turnover there. They caught a break as Morris, who shoots 72%, missed both free throws.
And a foul conceded. Morris will once again go back to the free throw line. Trumbo on that last sequence fouled out, by the way. Stefano Asuji picks up his 4th personal.
Bridgeport, a team that really prides themselves on taking care of the basketball, averaging just 13.8 turnovers per game. That last one, they're 17th on the evening. Molloy has done a good job protecting the basketball, only 10 miscues on the night.
Morris, as cool as you like, knocks down the first one. So Jalen Morris, first team all-conference, along with his teammate Charlie Marquardt, looking to bring Molloy to a Sunday afternoon championship matchup with Stack. He goes 2 of 2. And by the way, the Molloy women's team also all in attendance here off to our right. They're trying to make it a 2 for 2 Sunday afternoon. They'll be taking on NYIT at noon. We'll have that right here for you on the ECC YouTube channel. Asuji lays that one in. He's now got 10. Bridgeport commits a foul, but it's going to be Charlie Marquardt going to the line. And Marquardt is about as automatic as you can get from the charity stripe.
Well, you got the quick 2, but at this point in the game, you have to try to get a turnover off of the inbounds, and then if not, a quick foul. But the last person you want to foul is Charlie Marquardt. 5 for 5 from the line tonight.
So Marquardt, the first free throw is good. And you could just about safely assume he's going to knock down the second. He's got 29 points on the day. He's going as high as 34 this season. That was against Adelphi. Marquardt, 10 of 16 from the field, 6 of 6 from the charity stripe. Charlie White into the game for Bridgeport. He knocks down a 3. The long distance pass, Gazzardi able to corral, at least for a moment. Asuji knocked it away. Oh, that could have been almost dangerous there for a minute. It's back to a 5-point game. Morris comes back in as he takes out Josh Dennis. Now, it's not all said and done just yet, but Bridgeport needs a little bit of a hope and a prayer and a steal off the inbound. Campbell gives up the foul, and a pair of made free throws. That should just about do it.
And you talked about the fact that Molloy College 7.5 seconds away from having double representation on Championship Sunday. Congratulations to Joe Pelicane in his second season and second stint with Molloy. His team defeated St. Thomas Aquinas earlier. NYIT, the number 5 seed, knocked out Queens. So we'll have a new champion on the women's side, and Championship Sunday is really shaping up to be a great one.
Well, perhaps we might get a couple of fan buses heading up from Rockville Center, New York to take in Championship Sunday. Asuji's 3 is off the mark. That is going to do it. Molloy punches their ticket to the ECC Championship. An 89-82 victory over the University of Bridgeport. Mike Moore, final thoughts.
Congratulations to the Molloy College Lions, as that is win number 18 on the season. They've won 5 in a row and 15 of their last 19. But JJ, just playing their best basketball at the right time of the year. It's going to be an exciting game tomorrow, as it's 1 versus 2 on the men's side.
They say chalk. Chalk proceeds and advances to Championship Sunday. So again, to set the table for you tomorrow, again, both games will be played right here at the Harvey Hubble Gymnasium on the campus of the University of Bridgeport. It will be on the women's side, the 2 seed Molloy College Lions taking on the number 5 seed NYIT Bears. And then following that, the game will be scheduled for 2:30. It will be the men's game between the number 2 seed Molloy College Lions and the number 1 seed St. Thomas Aquinas Spartans.
And congratulations to the University of Bridgeport Purple Knights. Another terrific season as well under Mike Ruan. No reason for them to hang their heads whatsoever.
All right, so Steve Valson has Curtis Jenkins as well as the head coach and coach of the year in the conference, Charles Marquardt, with him. Let's send it down to Steve.
Steve Balson here courtside with the player of the game for Molloy College, Curtis Jenkins. Curtis, first of all, speak a little bit about your team's effort in tonight's game in a tough, hostile environment.
My team, we put everything out there. We work on defense every day, and that's our motto. Getting stops every single play. That's what we came out and did. That's exactly what we came out and did.
Was there any extra motivation coming in as the higher seed, as it were, and having to play on the other team's floor? Certainly there was a great atmosphere in the building tonight.
No, none whatsoever. We came in here with the mindset that we're going to take over. We're the home team here. That's what we wanted to do. We want to make sure that we showed that and we keep pushing. We got a championship tomorrow.
You know so much of what you do on the Molloy team centers around Charlie Marquardt and Jalen Morris. You stepped up and had a big game today. What was your motivation coming in?
I just do my job. My job is to come in and make plays, get stops, play defense, make plays. Next up, that's all.
Curtis, you certainly did that. Congratulations. You're moving on to the finals tomorrow against St. Thomas Aquinas. 21 points, 8 rebounds. We'll see you then.
you very much.
Curtis Jenkins of Molloy College, as we now bring on the coach of the Molloy College Lions, Charles Marquardt. Coach, deep exhale. You came out of it. You came out of a tough one tonight. Speak a little about the environment in this building tonight, what it's like to play in such a place with such a history as the University of Bridgeport.
You know, anytime you come to Bridgeport and you beat a team coached by Mike Ruan, it's a blessing because he does such a great job and he's done it for such a long time. And it was a great atmosphere for the conference playoffs, and it really spoke well for our conference. It was a great setting and a great college game. It was really back and forth. It was fun.
Yeah, so many times in the second half, Bridgeport threatened to cut into your deficit, but couldn't quite get over the top. What do you think made the difference for your team tonight?
You know, we've been talking about resilience the whole year, and I don't know if there was any one play. We just had a number of plays where we did that, whether it be a made shot or finally got a stop or took a charge or a 50-50. So I think it's just more of a mindset that we've had the whole year. Resilience, and I think it came through tonight.
On the subject of resilience, you have a quick turnaround tomorrow against the #1 seed from St. Thomas Aquinas. Walk us through how your team gets through the rest of tonight and how you prepare for tomorrow's game.
I don't know how we're going to get through the rest of tonight. I know we're going to enjoy this for a couple of hours, and then we'll prepare for a great team. Tobin Anderson does a great job with St. Thomas, but we'll worry about that a little bit later. We have to enjoy a moment so that you can move past the moment. But St. Thomas is fabulous. We've seen him twice. We know what we're up against, but we're looking forward to an opportunity. You know, I can only speak on our guys. Our guys really came and gave a great effort, so I'm proud of our guys.
Well, on the subject of grabbing a moment, Rockville Center invades Bridgeport, Connecticut tomorrow because both your men's and your women's team are there. Congratulations, best of luck. Is that something extra special knowing that you have your women's team to root for before your game?
Well, I think so, and it's hats off to Susan Cassidy and President Drew, and you know, they're here to support us, which says a lot and volumes about the care of our program. And it's a proud day tomorrow. Hopefully we can all, you know, maybe make one more step. That would be good.
Well, best of luck to you, your team, and your entire program tomorrow, and congratulations on tonight's victory, Coach.
Thank you.
Charles Marquardt, the head coach of the Molloy College Lions, bringing an end to day one of the ECC tournament. It's been a long one, fellas. It's been a pleasure working with you. We all need to get a little bit of rest, and we'll see you here bright and ugly tomorrow morning.
Absolutely, as we appreciate Curtis and Charles chatting with Steve down there. And that's going to do it for us for day one. 4 games in the book. Semifinal Saturday, done and dusted. Big thanks, of course, to the PAC Network. Folks have worked long and hard to bring you all the action from today. As a reminder, the women's game at noon tomorrow. That will be between NYT and Molloy. The men's game to follow, scheduled 2:30, Molloy and Stack. For everyone here, for my broadcast partners, Steve Belson and Mike Moore, I'm JJ Duke, signing off from the Park City as Molloy moving on to Championship Sunday. Until then, goodbye for now.